going to be leaving office in June, and there will be an election going on in March. I encourage all of you to get involved in trying to elect someone that represents the CSUN area that's going to do more so that you can access your campus by walking, biking, and have better transit access. And this is something that's really important. If we want change to happen, we have to vote. And so also in terms of the bureaucratic support, and Jordan, I'm not going to give him a hard time because he's here representing the bureaucracy. There's always a contradiction between what is said and what can be done. And there's a lot of resistance to change within our systems, and there's a lot that can be done. We have a lot of street space, especially in the valley. Our roads are huge, and they don't all need to be all the time for cars. We have a lot of residences on our giant streets, so we have 6-lane streets in like Nordhoff, which is giant, but people's houses are on it. Like, how great is that to walk out your door and see 6 lanes of cars going past every day? Would you let your kids go out and play? No. Would you spend a lot of time gardening in your front yard if you have 6 lanes of cars going past every day? No. So there's a lot of reasons why we have to think about providing for bicycles and pedestrians that extend beyond just providing for them. It's also about providing a better quality of life for the people that live along our roads. It's about creating economic incentives so that businesses can sort of be vibrant. If you look at a lot of different cities where businesses are doing the best is often where the most people are out walking around. That's why people like going to the Grove and the Americana, because there's no cars once you get out of your car. But we need to make a lot of our cities and a lot of our spaces more accessible for people to get there by car, but also to be able to walk and bike around once they're there. So the other issue is prioritization of funding. I don't know, it's a whole big thing. But we live in a really big place. So we always talk about cities within the biking community like Portland and San Francisco, and they're doing all these really great things. Well, the city of San Francisco is 7 miles by 7 miles. The city of Los Angeles is 468 square miles. It's huge. So there's a lot of different things that we have to take into account within our city and our county that other places don't have to deal with. So these are just some photos of what life could be like if we had a little bit better bicycle infrastructure. There's a protected bike lane. And then there's just this one, there's a picture in the middle there of some folks in Europe sitting on something that's called a Wohner, which is basically it's like a street where it's all been level so that cars are kind of like the invited guests. They can still drive, but people are walking and biking. There's cafe tables and chairs out, so cars are moving really slow because the priority is not the car. And then just some other random photos. The bicycle boulevard down there at the bottom, which is a residential street where bicycles are given a little bit of priority. So the traffic speeds are low. It's about making a neighborhood that's more inviting for the residents and whatnot. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the stuff that we're working on. We are working on trying to get a bicycle boulevard on 4th Street, which is down in central Los Angeles and runs through the Koreatown area into MacArthur Park kind of area. Well, actually it runs all the way over to La Brea. But this is a road that's used a lot right now. It's mostly residential, and we want to just try and calm it a little bit and make it even safer for cyclists and pedestrians. And through the Koreatown MacArthur Park area, there's not a lot of green space. And so we have a lot of opportunity to extend out some of the sidewalks, reclaim some of the street space, do some tree planting, do some things to do stormwater recapture, and integrate some other sustainability practices into the street space beyond just concrete. We are working on a project in Boyle Heights to develop 3 sort of pilot street projects where we're going to provide safer bicycle and pedestrian access, but also more community green space, and then also, like I was saying, with businesses, providing space so that if there's an unused parking space because of a red curb, because of something, I don't know, the city came along and painted it red, well, maybe that space could be pushed out a little bit and the sidewalk could be extended, and it would be a great spot for cafe tables or something so that the sidewalk could become more engaged as a public space. And then we're working with Culver City Bicycle and Pedestrian Initiative. So we're working with the city on their first ever bicycle and pedestrian master plan. And then one of the things we did last year was we conducted bike and actually pedestrian counts for the city of LA. So we went out and we looked at 50 intersections and measured how many cyclists were coming through within a 2-hour period and how many pedestrians were coming through, and established a baseline for the city. The city counts cars every day through the loops in the street, but they don't ever count pedestrians or cyclists. So when you say there's a need for doing all this stuff, and they say, well, we don't actually know if anyone's doing that because we don't count it. And data is really, really important if you want to get anything done, because people like numbers. They listen to numbers. And then we worked on some transit access around the Blue Line stations in Long Beach. And then we have a program called City of Lights. This is catering to day labor immigrant cyclists. We go out and provide lights, safety education, legal information, and we also have just recently started. How many of you guys have heard of the Valley Bikery? Okay, Bicycle Kitchen. So the Valley Bikery, the Bicycle Kitchen, there's another thing called the Bike Oven, there's another thing called Bikerwave, all really funny words. But they are basically bike repair collectives. So you can go in and pay $7 an hour and someone will help you fix your bike yourself. You can get used parts, everything you need to fix your bike. So one of the things that we've noticed when working with our immigrant day labor cyclists is that many of them have bikes that are in pretty bad repair, the tires get really flat, they're running into issues, and their bicycle is the main way that they're trying to find work and support themselves and their families. So we were working with them and the Bicycle Kitchen and one of the day labor organizations called ADEPSCA to create a repair space, a collective repair space that the guys run themselves so that they can repair and fix their bikes and be able to find the jobs they need. So some of the things you can do: organize bike rides with friends, conduct walk and bike audits around your school. And it sounds like one of the professors, Zainab, is working on a project to sort of do some access and accommodation study for the campus, and I definitely recommend getting involved with that. Create your own bicycle advocacy group, so that could help support maybe that professor's work. Write to your council members and community leaders about the importance of bicycle infrastructure, pedestrian infrastructure. Walking onto campus from Nordhoff, there wasn't even a crosswalk, and there was cars that were just turning right, like with not even looking, because they just think they have the right of way, which they do, because they're not even providing for pedestrians right there. So one of the things also, you can work with your school to get safe and secure bike parking. I noticed all the bike parking racks in front of this building were what we call wheel benders, so you can only lock your wheel, so someone could just totally steal your bike if they wanted to, because there's no way for you to lock up the whole frame unless you kind of haphazardly put it around there. And just like people love free parking, because when you get to the end of your trip, you got a place to put your car. Good bike parking is equally as important as, well, I would say free parking is actually a bad thing, but because that incentivizes people to drive. But if we want to incentivize people to ride their bikes, we need to provide good quality parking. And as you can see here, work with your school, maybe do like a Bike 101 course, and I'm happy to put anyone in touch with a LEED certified instructor that can help you learn the rules of the road. And you can volunteer and intern with the Bicycle Coalition. I'm always looking for students to help out. We have a lot of work we could use help with. And you can become a member of our organization. We have student memberships for $15, and it helps support our work around the county. And that's my presentation, really fast.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to be having Randy Lawrence speak next, and he's the ride director for the San Fernando Valley Bicycle Club, which is a recreational hiking club and biking club with about 500 members. He's an avid road and mountain biker, and he's a partner in a software development company called Absolute Advantage, and he's also a CSUN graduate. So thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Okay. So I'm Randy Lawrence. I'm the ride director of the San Fernando Valley Bike Club. I like to ride bikes. I got mountain bikes, I have road bikes, and I don't really like to drive. I've had a home office since 97, and if it weren't for vacations, I'd probably drive less than I actually ride. I'm going to talk about the nuts and bolts about riding, and maybe riding with us, not some of the advocacy issues that others are going to talk about. We hold rides every weekend and holidays, and we're a road riding recreational club, like I noted. Here's just a photo of one of our weekend rides, so you can see what it's like. And then I have an action shot of me in Utah. I'm talking about our club. We are a recreational club. We have about 500 members, and we ride, as I indicated, every holiday and Saturdays and Sundays. And we actually meet at the B1 parking lot out here at 8 o'clock, so it's pretty convenient. For those who've not maybe comfortable riding on the roads or riding with a group of riders like us, we do have an orientation ride that is every first Saturday of every month. So that's a good way to come and maybe learn about riding on the road. We have people come around and they're uncomfortable with riding on the roads, and so this is maybe a good way to check it out. The orientation ride is our easiest ride of that day, a #1 ride, typically 25 miles, pretty flat. We have rides rated from 1 to 5, as you can see. We have a lot of rides in our inventory. We have a monthly schedule of rides. This is this month's schedule. And on our homepage, we have the week's rides, which are downloadable in PDF form, so you can print out a route slip and know where the turns and the mileages are. People often just clip these to their bikes and then can do the ride. That orientation ride, as I indicated, is the only ride every month that we have a coach, if you will, that's a leader-led ride. All the other rides are not. They're just ride with the group you're with on that ride. But on that orientation ride, the ride leader will ride with the slowest riders of the day, so that is a good introduction. Let's talk about actually a little bit about riding on the road. As Alexa said, ride on the road, not on the sidewalk. Actually, if you have to go somewhere, it's really the way to ride, and I think it's much easier. Maintain your line, be predictable. You're riding with cars and in the lane with cars, and they need to know what you're going to do. So really ride predictable, and if necessary, take the lane. If there is not enough space between, let's say, the white line and the parked cars or the curb for you and a vehicle, take the lane. Don't allow a car to think they could sneak by you. Take the lane, get in their way if necessary. If you're riding along the street and you see gaps between the parked cars, don't swerve in and out them. I mean, imagine you're a car and you're coming up on a cyclist. Maybe you don't even see them. All of a sudden they come out and jump back in the car. So just get back to being predictable and maintaining your lane, maintaining your path. I'm going to talk about just a few different kinds of danger things, and one is getting doored. You kind of see by this illustration, it's not a pleasant sight. You want to ride a few feet out from where the car doors could open up. It's also, there's less debris. If you ride towards the right too much, that's where all the grime, glass, all the debris ends up over there, so it's better to ride out. Another dangerous thing is getting hit by someone turning left in front of you. I have a few thoughts on why this happens. One, I think that the cars don't see you, particularly in this case. And two is they don't really realize how fast you're riding. You might be riding 20 miles an hour and they're just not used to it. So this is something to be really careful of. Another real dangerous thing is getting passed by a car and then having them turn into your path. I think that they see you here. I think that there's actually two issues here, and this is my own view. One is they think that they're not sure how fast you're going, so they think they can pass you. And two is people, maybe drivers don't like cyclists that much, and they feel they have the right of way when they really should just get behind you and wait for you to do your turn. Got more information about our club at this URL, so you can check it out. If you have questions for me, you can click this, and my face is on the homepage there, and you can email any questions you have. It's a good resource. We also have a really good FAQ on our website about riding with us, so please check that out. And lastly, I kind of want to talk about my philosophy for riding on the road, and that is to ride friendly. I try and smile, acknowledge other drivers, thank them, little waves and so forth. I just think it's a better way to ride is to ride friendly. Anyway, thank you very much.
I understand Mr. Glenn Bailey is going to be coming up next. Glenn has been a bicycling advocate in the San Fernando Valley in the city of Los Angeles since 1973. He's the current chair of the City of Los Angeles Bicycle Advisory Committee. Not advisory, advisory committee.
We're advisory to to some.
That's true, I kind of got there myself. The position he's held, he's had